recording the session, so we can reuse it eventually if we want. We have included a lot of organizations in the network. Currently, we are becoming I would say the biggest network on the introduction of competencies necessary for advanced manufacturing in the vocational education and training curricula in Europe, but not only, because we have also applications from Russia, Kazakhstan, a lot, Armenia, a lot of different countries. So this network has grown up in the last period. We have more than 200 members, and these are distributed. The memberships are distributed among universities, technological departments, vet providers, and companies. We also have a large number of applicants from UK, because in UK was based one of the founders of the network, that is Jaguar Land Rover, as you may know. We are bringing this initiative to present new projects in February, and we are working on two different directions that are one, Sector Skill Alliance, that is the continuation of the existing one, and one strategic partnership, that is the valorization of this relevant network that we are driving. The reason of these meetings that we have done with our network member and the new ones, like we are discussing with you, is to valorize the network in itself, and to see if it will be possible to have further interactions in terms of new proposals or new opportunities together. So it's not only a matter of participation of your organization in our initiative, but also to understand if in this networking activity is possible to generate new ideas and new opportunities for both. Our organization is based in Italy. As you know, we are in Tuscany. It's a small organization, and we have also activities in various fields that are very similar to your organization. I have noted in your description that we have a lot of things in common that could be valorized. So I would propose now to implement this meeting to make an introduction of your organization. Then if you like, I can make an introduction, or Greta can do it on our activities, also extending this to not only the field of advanced manufacturing, but we have other important assets in terms of mobility, and especially mobility for young entrepreneurs, that we are leading a consortium of various organizations. And then we can discuss this opportunity for February and other ideas that we get in mind. If you agree, I would like to give you the floor to present your organization and to let us to understand better what are your potentials in terms of collaboration and opportunities for next projects and calls in February.
First of all, Giovanni and Greta, thank you for the invitation in this Skype meeting. Thank you for the emails that we were exchanging the last period, as well as the fact that you found our organization interesting for your future plans. Before we discuss more specific proposals, yes, I would like to briefly introduce our organization to you. Further to what you may have read, Eurosuccess is a consulting and training organization based in Cyprus, and we are operating in both environments, national and European context. As regards to the national context, we are among the leading organizations as regards to the exploitation of funding schemes and opportunities for SMEs and physical entities in exploiting European funding in any relevant area, such as creation or development of businesses, recruitment, training of personnel, innovation issues, and anything else which may be exploited by European and national funding opportunities. Furthermore, we are one of the accredited training centers in Cyprus, which means that we are allowed to organize and implement funded seminars for mainly for businesses. And we are also accredited with the quality system of ISO. This is the national services, but our main scope is the European level. We have participated and we are participating into more than 40 European projects, lifelong learning, the previous educational EU program, Erasmus Plus, and Justice. Within the Erasmus Plus, we have implemented proposals and projects under the KA2 and KA3 sectors, and we have been and we are coordinators in 3 proposals which were submitted and accepted in Cyprus. Therefore, we also have a good experience and relationship with our NA. Furthermore, in the last years, we are also assessors for proposals as regards the Erasmus Plus and the Norwegian funds. Therefore, in simple words, we are not only experienced and active in the implementation sector, but also in the proposal development. We are, of course, we would like to involve also your organization, because we always try to have win-win situations in our collaborations. Now, within the project's participation, we were leaders in various proposals regarding from management and implementation, dissemination issues, piloting, exploitation, development of the different outputs, not only the technical ones like research or training materials, but also we have implemented various online tools as regards to entrepreneurs, strategic planning or assessment of competences and skills, which of course could be very well integrated within your projects if you would like so. We have developed educational tools and games even for school context for children in order to assess their skills and competences for and their predispositions about the future jobs, so as for the school counselors and the teachers to be more aware as to where each child should be focused and be supported to. Therefore, we are also involved in the online tool development sector. So, more or less, this is it about us. I don't know if you have any questions, any need for clarifications.
Well, no, I was taking some note also. Everything is very clear, even because I have read your presentation. And so you are confirming me that your organization is very similar to our history. We have also such size of number of projects. And well, we also worked in very different fields, like you said, and we have different tracks ongoing. So it's, I think we have a lot of points in common. I see now that Greta also succeeded with the camera.
Yes.
So
good morning, Greta.
Good morning. But I work with you, huh?
Okay. Better Greta than me, I would say, for you. Yes, it's also interesting to have some more information about the last point that you mentioned that was not very clear with me. For example, we are experts in the Moodle environment, and from, I would say, from the beginning of this company history, we have started to implement Moodle solutions, and even now we have a Moodle platform for the learning system of the Skillman. But I would like to know better your experience in this field that you mentioned in the.
Of course, I can send you the links of some of the tools we developed after our meeting, and you can exploit them and have a look at them. And as you very well know, such tools, Giovanni, are very flexible, are very dynamic, so they can be adjusted in any sector, in any target group, or any content that will be needed. If I may ask, as I understand, the current project we are discussing has to do with the transport sector, which, as I understood, is a successful one, and you want to transfer it into a larger context of the Knowledge Alliance, right?
Yes, not exactly. Is part of the information are correct, but there is an evolution of this, and then I will give you more information. So you, at that point, I would like to use even some slide to help the discussion, to let you understand better the Skillman proposal. Then I would like also to define better the roles that we can include in this new stage, because we already have an initial partnership that is composed by the founders of the Skillman consortium, and then we are adding other partners. The idea, I would be very frank with you, is to include the two rounds of partnerships. One is the lower level, is composed by the final beneficiaries of the activities, that means schools and companies. These will take benefits from the results of the project in terms of curricular implementation, piloting, participation, recruiting of students or workers to take part to the training activities, and this kind of participation to conferences and focus group, etc. The second cycle is instead, but these will not get any money because these will be on board as associated partners. Then there is a second cycle that is involved in the piloting and in part in the development of the activities and implementation of the activities, but this is not yet the full partnership that is instead given to a first cycle that is composed by the initial partners, so the founders of the network, and someone else that will be added upon established criteria that are related to the capacities of these partners to bring on the purposes of the new proposal. Of course, we have already partners. Even in Cyprus, we have a relevant partner that is working with us in the Entrepreneurs Mobility Consortium. So it's maybe for this stage not possible to think to your involvement directly at the first ring of partnership for the Skillman, but anyway, we are now just trying to understand the potentials to see even in the other proposals that we are going to bring on what are the possibilities of collaboration, not only in the Skillman Sector Skill Alliance. So I come back to your questions concerning where we are going to put the initiative for the Skillman 4.0. And this, I said, was in part right, because you started to say that this is a project for the transport sector. This was correct. The first 3 years of the project was aimed to stress the skills mismatch in the transport sector. But what we are going to do now is to leave the limit of the sector in itself and to extend the activity considering not anymore one sector, but considering the technologies in themselves. So we are talking, for example, of Internet of Things, I would say composite materials, or, for example, the lean, the manufacturing chain, the example, say, for example, the robotics. So these technologies will be the subject of the new proposals, and not anymore limiting the technologies to the transport sector. So we can face different sectors, but what we want to introduce is the new skills necessary to manage these technologies in the schools. Side to this, there is another direction that we are taking, that is the ethic issue, because these technologies can be implemented not only for specific solutions, for cars or for motorcycles, for example, in the transport sector, or ships or aircraft, but also for weapons. So what we want to do is to make the network to discuss the issues among the implementation and the responsibilities that the trainers and the students have in the implementation of these new advanced manufacturing solutions in their own educational pathways. This is another project proposal that we are going to present in February, and this will be under the call for strategic partnerships. We believe that this network has a lot of things to say. So the members are very various, and we have members from civil society, NGO, even ministries we have that applied for this membership. So we think that there is a big potential in this sense, and the proposal will try to valorize this differentiation in the membership panorama we have. So we have not industries, not only industries and schools, but we have also NGO, large ministries, and other organizations that can be valorized in this sense. But I don't want to make you to lose time, just to understand these two differences. One is the continuation with the production of new curricula, or introduction of new learning unit of learnings in existing curricula to revise them. And another one is this networking valorization, or valorization of the network of Skillman 4.0 network. We also implement mobility, and you mentioned also innovation, for example, for SMEs. This is also an important aspect for us. We own a small incubator here in Tuscany, and we implement the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs mobility program. So we are interested to, but we have in this, we lead a consortium that is one of the most performers in the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs network. And we have a partner in Cyprus also. So the mobility we manage is not only related to entrepreneurs. We also manage mobility for schools. We receive around 250 students per year in Tuscany. So maybe, Greta, do you want to give some information to Georgios
yes,
about
yes,
Italy Mobility Program, please?
So yes, as Giovanni was saying, we receive around 250 students per year, and they mostly come from the vocational education, and they come here for internship that goes from 1 month to 3-4 months. We also have some schools that require us just 3 or 2 weeks, but we usually prefer not to take so much groups with the small time, with the small short period, because we found it very it's not successful in itself, the mobility just for 2 weeks. Students come just for vacation and not for improving their skills or doing personal experience. They come from different countries in Europe, but actually no one is coming from Cyprus. They are from different professional profiles, so we are very, very good in funding companies in the tourism sector or the mechanics sector, all that is related to food and beverage. All these professional profiles are very good for us, but we also receive graphic designers or fashion designers. Very people from aesthetics, different professional profiles. And we usually arrange the work placement service with monitoring and evaluation, accommodation, and then we offer also transportation, transfer from and to the airport, cultural activities, and other language courses also. And as far as concerned the monitoring and evaluation, we have this database that is sorted out to manage all the documents and all the information about the person. So every person who arrives here has a project on our database, so all the information goes there, and we are also managing to doing the evaluation through this method, because we send weekly surveys just to know how is it going, about all the aspects of the mobility. So from the work placement, how do they how do they fund the company, how do they relate it with the colleagues, from the work placement in itself to also the accommodation, if they feel good, if they are okay with the other students. Because yes, usually we use or our youth hostel or other accommodations that we fund just for the groups that are incoming, but with shared rooms, so that they also have this experience in collaborating and living with others. So usually they are allocated in accommodation with, I don't know, maybe other students that comes from other realities. Yes. And yes, and so we through this surveys we do weekly evaluation, and we do also with the companies. So also the companies can say their own by their side, and in this way we arrive at the final evaluation that follows the Europass skills. And so we have this welcome day at the beginning and final event at the end, the mobility. So at the end they will receive a certificate that corresponds to the Europass scheme. Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much, Greta. So how many students we receive from Cyprus? Zero. So, because everybody wants to go to Cyprus, nobody wants to leave from Cyprus.
We have to teach as well. Yes, the demand is much higher than the offer. I would like to ask you, Greta, the target groups are only from the vocational ages, for vocational schools, or you, as organization, you are dealing with elementary, gymnasium, lyceum schools? Do you involve them in EU projects?
Usually they are from vocational schools. I don't know if maybe we had some, Giovanni, maybe we had some groups from other realities.
Well, I think that the question was addressed also to understand the age of the students, not only the sector, but anyway, we received also from not only vet schools, from universities, for example. The Europe Mobility Network is a consortium that we have launched that includes a lot of organizations. Also is composed by university consortiums in Germany, for example, so they belong also to the vet providers, because like you have professions like engineering or such kind of professions, but they are universities. But what is, I think, important to highlight is that we do not organize study periods abroad. We only organize internship. This must be clear. So only internship. They come to have a work placement in the company, and we provide the side learning of this period. So we provide the anti-cultural shock training when they arrive, and then we have a continuous training during the period. And then when they leave, we have this final assessment that is the composing of formation assessment that comes during the whole period. And then we release a certificate that is current with the Europass requirements or other requests from the school. So another aspect that you can also mention, Greta, is related to the special needs group.
Yes, sure. Yes, we also had some. We have some groups that comes from. They are. I don't know, people with disability physical or psychological disabilities, or people that are inserted in this special work placement, that they do all the education for and accompaniment to the companies. So we receive them, and we have great success with these groups because they are very good placed in the companies, and the companies really help them and support them in finding their skills and their way in some ways. And we are receiving around 2 or 3 groups of this type.
Person with special needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that we have developed a sort of standard, Giorgos. I don't know, you mentioned something about the pupils in the schools or something like this. I would like to have more information if you have. We started to receive such kind of special needs groups in 2008. Then there was 2-3 groups per year starting from 2010-11, and then we have established collaborations with Germany, Spain, and Sweden in particular.
And Finland also.
And Finland, yes. And then with the Swedish Ministry of Labour, we also experimented a sort of piloting for them. We helped them to introduce this method in their own programs. And then after this, the national authorities, not all, but I think 15 national authorities of European social funds, implemented an agreement to spend the European social funds resources at the national level to include the mobility for such people with disadvantages. This was also a result given to our experimentation that was taken as an example in this process to make this agreement among the European Social Fund national authorities, because as you know, they are not directed at European central level. They have their own national plans, and so they did this agreement because otherwise each country acts in a different way. I don't know if Cyprus has agreed or not with these other European Social Fund national authorities for this. Anyway, we are continuing to receive such small groups. The standard provides that they have to be cited by 1 or 2 tutors, and they remain here for usually 4 weeks. And there is a very impressive result that you get when they go back, because you see the faces that change in a very impressive way, because you see different persons when they go back. It's a extraordinary, it's a terrific result that you get, and it gives a lot of satisfaction when you do this job, because you see concrete correspondence among what you do and what they get back at home. So I don't know if you also work in this field with these kind of beneficiaries. I would like to know better if there is any chance to collaborate even in the field of mobility. I think now you have a larger frame of our activities. What I didn't specify in depth is the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program. We are, I give you now a few words. We are in this program from the beginning, when the European Commission has launched this, and from that time we were always leaders of the consortium that we represent, and this means that we have to deal with now a large consortium. We have around 10 organizations that are part of our consortium, and even some big organization. For example, we have the Chamber of Commerce in Ankara, that is one of the biggest, or maybe the biggest Chamber of Commerce in Turkey. I don't know, maybe no. Istanbul could be the bigger, for sure, the bigger one. We move entrepreneurs across Europe through this program, and we manage directly the grants that we give. So this is up to CSCS to distribute these grants for mobility. So could be also interesting maybe to reflect if in your consulting activities that you mentioned for SMEs, if you have startups, for example, you can side your offer with these grants that for you are free, but it's something that you can add for free to your offer. So you can enrich your support to the companies offering mobility abroad. This, I don't know if you know this program. Anyway, it's from 1 month to 6 months, the mobility, and then we can pay back. Costs, live costs, in the mobility experience of the new entrepreneurs, and we send the new entrepreneurs to be together, sided with an experienced host entrepreneurs in another country of Europe, and then it will be available also United States, maybe Israel, and an Asian country also in the next period. This is a new code that is going to be implemented in the next, I think, months. So there will be the possibility also to offer mobility outside Europe, but this is not yet defined. So I would like to know your reactions to this, not to this point in particular, but to what we mentioned, and then we can discuss. We can switch off the conference and then discuss freely other opportunities that are not included in the Skillman process.
Very well. Thank you both for the presentation. I was keeping some notes that I would like to mention. First, I want to take the last part of Giovanni in regards to mobilities and the young entrepreneurs. We are not dealing directly with such specific actions such as the KA1, but we are doing mobilities. We have experience in mobilities through the KA2 and the KA3 projects. So we are also very well experienced in regards to the logistic organization and, if needed, placement of some end users from other countries for some certain period. As regards to the persons with disabilities, I am also very well aware of this nice feeling which you feel at the end of each visit. Although we are not dealing with persons with disabilities, but a lot with people from vulnerable groups. And to be more specific, we have collaboration for the last 6 years with the prison department of Cyprus, where we participate or involve them in our projects so as to provide support to offenders, ex-offenders, and prison officers, so as to not only support the communication and the level of living within the prison context, but also to assist the offenders to be reintegrated more efficiently in the society. Moreover, in the last 3 years, we have also collaboration with the Ministry of Education about the early school droppers, as well as young children with problematic or violent behavior within the school context. So we work very closely with the Ministry of Education as well as with school counselors and school management on these vulnerable and very sensitive cases. As well as we collaborate with therapeutical closed communities which host drug or alcohol addicts. And therefore, we are also collaborating. We are also dealing with vulnerable groups, which are very sensitive in such cases. And in some cases, we have achieved in implementing mobilities with ex-offenders. And although it was very, very difficult to be organized, and even in security level, it was very difficult, at the end, the satisfaction was great. So I think we could consider some future collaboration with you, also with such target groups. Another thing I would like to add is that when you mentioned about the importance of the chambers.
Giorgos,
yes.
We also had 2 projects in the field of prisoners learning. We had one project to develop a system for prior recognition, for recognition of prior competencies acquired during the life. And the second one was to develop tools for operators to assist people offended and offenders also in the reintegration pathways. This was the second one was ended last year in 2015 was. Yes,
very good. Now we have currently 3 projects in regards to prison education. Therefore, we can see in the future some good practices which can be redeveloped and expanded further. As regards the importance you were mentioning about the chambers, etc., just to be aware that if needed in some of your initiatives, we can involve also, even as associate partners, Chamber of Commerce in Cyprus, Nicosia Chamber of Commerce, with whom we are members of. We are also members with the Employers Association in Cyprus. And as well as in some other European level organizations, such as the European Prison Educators, EPEA, which is very important association with regards to prison education, and some other school European networks. Therefore, we have also the European networks which can be involved into proposals. And lastly, I would like to ask whether you involve also schools in your proposals. For example, if Eurosuccess will develop a school education program, for example, for gymnasiums, do you collaborate also with schools institutions?
Yes, we have a network. First of all, this is also related with the Skillman new proposals. It's a very interesting point. Locally, we have a network. I think now we have received, Greg, I don't remember, 60 or 90 memberships.
Around 70 actually. 60,
70, so
yeah,
it was
70.
60 and grown up. Okay.
But yes, but actually I was away, and I know that we received so many emails, and I have never read
okay,
yet.
so what? Just to mention that we started to collect formal adhesions to our local consortium that is the one that supports the local incubator that we have created, and we have around 70 members. In these memberships there are, just to mention, at local level, companies and the existing schools. So we have collected not all, but almost the majority of the vet providers at local area, for example. They compose our network for this incubator structure that we have created. What we do instead at a large scale is to involve the schools that you were asking to implement the new curricula pathways that we have developed with the 3 years collaboration within the Skillman Sector Skill Alliance project, and this will continue to be involved in this sense. They are involved for the piloting activities, so they can receive or send, they can host piloting activities concerning the new curricula that we have developed. This means, for example, robotics, advanced manufacturing sector, and management 4.0 of the production chains. So these curricula are already owned by the Skillman consortium and are available for the schools to be implemented in the next 3 years within the Skillman activities with the Skillman consortium support. Then they will be involved, the schools, in making or disfruting the mobility opportunities, because we send the students, their students, to other schools or to companies to have a work placement. Even this year, for example, we sent students to Fiat, FCA, to Maserati and other consortium members. Then the schools will give support to identify the right solutions for the new learning outcomes that we have to implement, giving us their own existing curricula that we can integrate with the new learning outcomes and rearrange. This is the curricula development part, the new Sector Skill Alliance. In the other side, we have the networking activity where many schools are involved. They will be asked to take part to the focus groups. So both the final beneficiaries in this side are the teachers, the directors, the teachers, and the students. So it's very important to involve the students in this debate on the implementation of the technologies for advanced manufacturing, and we will ask to schools to organize debates, conferences, to take part to international collection of data, surveys with opinions and proposals from students and teachers and from directors, and we will involve them in conferences, international conferences, where they will bring students and teachers. So if you, in your network, have the intention, for example, to valorize your services with the schools, this could be another occasion to provide them with these opportunities, involving them in collaboration for the ethic part, but not only for the ethic, even for the technical parts of the curricular development. I don't know if I answered to your request in this sense.
Yes, I feel that if in the future we would like to involve you in a school education project, you would have no problem to involve also schools.
Yes, if you mean this, yes, you can consider CSCS as a partner that is in connection with a large number of schools because of the mobility. We have a large network in Europe of schools that send us mobility students. You can consider we have around a number of around 50 schools that each year send us the students. Of course, that if you take the historical relationships, this number is really larger. But anyway, we have 50 organizations every year that collaborate directly with the Greta for mobility, to organize mobility. And the manager in charge of this, of course, as I said, is Greta. Then we have a local network of schools that compose this incubator network. This is below 10 schools, VET providers. Then we have also connections with universities that are part of the Skillman activities for the developing of the new curricula. So you can considering us in different perspectives. Also, we have launched this network that is Europe Mobility Network. The final beneficiaries collected through this network are around 700,000 learners, and this includes around 300 mobility organizations. These are not only secondary schools, as I told before, there are also in these universities, but this number of members is also composed by Chamber of Commerces and other private organizations that provide the mobility in general, mobility for learning. So yes, if you have something in mind that includes the need to bring schools on board, we have a large network that can be activated in this. And also the Skillman consortium that we represent, in his 200 members, I would say that maybe 50% are schools, at least 50% are schools, VET providers, public and private schools that belongs to the manufacturing sector. But not only, because for the ethical part, we also involve schools that are not directly in the manufacturing sector, but the idea is that we need the stakeholders that can bring also the point of view of the ones that benefit from the advanced manufacturing results. So means the technology in themselves. These are technologies that afflict our daily life. So we want to have the final users of the technologies. If you, for example, use a car, you are a consumer, and in this sense, you are a relevant stakeholder to also say what you think about this technology that must be introduced in the school. So it's extended also to other kind of schools for this reason. Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm covered with my query. The last thing I would like to ask you after our meeting is, in the next days, when you have something ready to send us your organizational info in the layout philosophy that I sent you ours, so as to have it in our archives in order to be able to see whether we can involve you in one of the proposals we will prepare for the next call.
Yes, that's part of my intentions also to share with you the next steps now on. Because it's important to not conclude this online meeting and to leave it as it is, but to make some track for the future. So first of all, I would like to understand if you have already filled the online form where we can get your information to the consortium, to the Skillman consortium.
No, I haven't filled anything. I see the links. I thought we should have the meeting first and after.
Yeah, no, just to understand. Okay, just to explain.
We will fill it as soon as.
Yeah, just to explain to you, we are, of course, that you, as you know, because you are an experienced partner, we represent the Skillman consortium, but we have to negotiate with our industrial partners all the relevant steps that we do, and we have to share with the consortium partners the new members information. So for this reason, there is this step that must be respected to share with them the information concerning your organization, filling the online form, and in this way having the same information circulating among the partners. So we are allowed to make this preparation meetings, of course, but we need also to follow this established track by the consortium, and then we will have the possibility for all of the partners to see your description and profile. That's first step. Second step, if you want to be included in our two proposals, there are two levels of interaction. First one is to send us the application letter as an associated partner. Then in this sense, if you have some school or some organization that you think relevant for Skillman and for your strategies to be also included as an associated partner, for example, you have a sister school that you work with and you want to bring them in the advanced manufacturing Skillman initiative, so you can also propose to them to join, as I did with you, to join the consortium. And for this, to be included in the next proposals, we need the mandate letter that you have received by myself to be filled with your data and signed to close this first step. The second step in this process is to try to include you as not only associated partner, but a full membership proposal partner. And then this will be done in the next week, interacting more on the, and I'm coming maybe to what you were asking to me, doing it more coherent with the current discussion among the first cycle partnership. This means that we will send to you more concrete information concerning the new proposals, and then you can react on these and make your own suggestions. To do this, I don't know if you have yet received, we have also an online form where you can put your concrete proposals, how to enrich the Skillman project proposals. Did you receive it?
I am looking now at the link of the application to join the Skillman network, right?
Okay, no, this is the second step. Maybe you didn't receive, but I will send you immediately after the meeting. It's okay. Another online form where we ask to the new potential partners to put ideas of collaboration. And this is good because, as you know, this is a large partnership, the Skillman in itself, and there are a lot of inputs. So to manage these inputs, better to have all the information in one place, as you know. So to avoid to forget someone or something, better to have these proposals written through this form and to have all in the same size and appearance, so to be better able to manage, to deal with these ideas, because we are going to design the new proposals in the next weeks. So, of course, we will send you, and Greta, please, I gently ask you to take note about this need. We will send you our presentation with the PIC number and all the information necessary to elaborate any new proposal. So you now know what are our potentials as organization and as Skillman consortium, so you can consider our availability to discuss any potential participation in new proposals. Consider that the next weeks will be used to define the new proposals, including all the inputs that the new and the existing partners has given to us. So do not send these proposals in February, because we'll be too late to include your ideas in the new project proposals. I think we have led with we have treated all the points that were in my mind. I don't know if there are any other remarks by your side, Greta or Georgos?
From my side, I am covered of what we have discussed. Just to be sure that I understood well, for your new proposal under the Knowledge Alliance sector, you are interested to include Eurosuccess more as associate partner than full partner, right?
No, I would say that we have to follow this progressive process that was established by the Skillman consortium. The mandate for CSCS, that is the leader of the consortium, was to explore the possibility to extend the membership to other relevant partners, and for this reason we have contacted you, and you received the invitation to propose your profile for the Skillman consortium. So the progress of this new collaboration is to acquire for the consortium members the profile of the new partner, discuss the opportunities of collaboration that depends on the characteristic of the new partner, and then to include eventually the new partner in the second and third cycle that I mentioned to you before, offering to the partner different roles that depends on the characteristics of the partner. So in your case, because I have anticipated to you that we consider you as a very experienced partner with a lot of potentials of collaboration, but also considering that we have a territorial coverage that for Cyprus was in part already established, so we don't want to also create conflicts with the existing partners, of course. We will try to include you in some way that give, as you said in the beginning, a win-to-win collaboration. So, of course, this is an ongoing process. I cannot make any promise now, but I would like to go on with this process and to establish more strict relationships with your organization and with you, Georgos, because I think that you are expressing an excellent level, an outstanding level of competencies and activities of very high level quality. You have important and effective networks in Europe, and that is very important to try to have a closer collaboration with your organization. So we are going to discuss new proposals in the next weeks, not only the two Skillman proposals, but even other proposals. Maybe there will be the possibility to interact not only for Skillman, but even for other proposals. Of course, that the same perspective is asked to you, but you being an experienced partner, an experienced player, you know very well this by your side is not necessary to explain you anything, and we know how we could deal with this engagement by both each other organizations. So, Greta, do you have something to remark?
No, I think, Georgos, you already received the Italy Mobility brochure and all the information about mobility in itself, right? You should have, I think.
Okay.
But in case, I will resend them to you.
Okay, I think we have a presentation, Greta, that can illustrate all the aspects that we deal with, not only the mobility, but the research area, the entrepreneurial area, the incubator, and the technologies that we implement. Yeah, it's important to have opportunities for both sides, and not only for the Euro access in our regards, but for both to collaborate in new projects, to create new ideas together. Is right to give to Georgos all the information concerning our characteristics. That's good. Then I will expect that you send upload the information about Euro access in the Skillman consortium platform. So in this way, we share with our partners. When we discuss with them, they know that you are applying and who you are, even if, of course, the main quantity of information pass through myself and through CSCS, of course, for them. Then we will contact back each other in the next weeks for the next proposals. To stress this potential of new aspects for the new projects, Skillman projects, I will share with you the form that the Skillman consortium has provided to write down its very simple form, just the name of the idea and the contents, so where you can propose special activities that you think relevant or that maybe belongs to your own network. For example, just to give you an example on how to do it, if you have just an example, maybe you organize an annual conference on education. So you could suggest to bring in this annual conference the presence of Skillman network to make a large discussion among your conference participants about the ethic aspects in introducing the advanced manufacturing technology skills in the ECVET curricula. So this is just an example to say you have an existing event and you want to bring Skillman resources in this event. In this sense, the Skillman consortium could finance and bring participants to your annual event. So we can't know what you have in terms of opportunities, like the example that I have given. So you can propose to the Skillman consortium to take in consideration some of your existing channels, conferences, activities, or whatever you think that could fit with the Skillman consortium purposes. I will send you the link of this in the next days. Let me see. I don't have it open right now here, so I cannot share with you. I don't want to make you lose more time because it is already past
it's not about
12 minutes.
Time.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything was very interesting. On our side, I feel complete about this meeting, and as you also said about your success, our intention is to create new synergies with organizations like yourselves, because as I understand, CSCS has established very interesting and very prestigious networks, and I'm sure that we can find common grounds of collaboration.
Yes, thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Greta, to you too. Last thing, I would remark that if you agree, we could use this recording to make this presentation in your Skillman application profile. So I would like to add this recording to your online application for the Skillman membership. That's right for
No
you?
problem.
Good,
No
very
problem.
good, very good. So we will send you then a link. You will see the map of the Skillman network members, and some members like you that are the most relevant members that we have identified will be also sided with the video presentation that we have done today. Thank you very much, Georgos. We do keep in touch and please do not forget to send this information as soon as possible.
No, we will not. Thank you very much, and nice to see you both.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.